What's up, guys? First of all, I just want to apologize for the noise. It is raining outside, but today I want to make a video about our mid-mount manifolds. I want to explain how it differs from any other manifolds that are being offered out there, and I also want to announce some stuff that we're working on. So our the manifold we offer is 2.5 inch open scroll manifold. What that means is it's 2.5 inch tubing, and it merges into a single exit. So the way we have our merge is basically a Y. This way it flows as best as possible from each bank. I'll throw in a clip showing how it scavenges exhaust gases from each bank. I'll insert that right now. So what that video shows is just basically showing that as one side flows air, it sucks air from the other bank, which is the best way possible for it to flow and reduces back pressure. So another thing that differs from other mid-mount kits that are made out there is the material we use. It is stainless steel. The difference is the thickness of the tubing we use. Just this cheap caliper, but as you can see, ours, that's as tight as it gets. Ours is 0.08, which converts to 14 gauge. So our manifolds are made out of 14 gauge tubing, which is pretty thick compared to your regular 16 gauge exhaust tubings that most other people use. So with it being that thick, it is heavy, but it just makes it more durable. One of our manifolds survived a car that rolled over 5 times. Luckily the owner was okay, and he ended up getting another Z and just swapped the whole turbo kit to the new Z manifold. Didn't dent, didn't bend, survived that pretty bad crash and was working perfectly after. Another thing, as you can see, we still use the 3-bolt flanges that bolt up to the stock headers or aftermarket headers. We didn't go V-band. We just don't feel it's necessary. I know everybody swears and thinks that V-bands don't leak, but they do. I've seen them leak. When they don't get welded properly, they will warp and they will leak. When you don't use the right clamps, they will leak. If you don't use the interlocking V-bands, they will leak. So yeah, the reason we still use the 3-bolt flanges because it's more universal. You could bolt it up to your stock headers, you could bolt it up to aftermarket headers, and these 3-bolt flanges don't leak as much as people may think they do. We use an extra thick gasket and we haven't had any issues. So another reason why we kept the 3-bolt flange is ease of install. If you've ever done test pipes on your car, you could install this manifold. It's basically just 6 bolts. You don't have to remove your headers. You don't have to install V-band headers to make. If this was V-band, you would have to have V-band headers, which installing headers is a long job and a costly job if you don't do it yourself. So another reason why our manifolds don't leak like some other mid-mount kits that use 3-bolt flange still also is that we use an extra thick flange. It's half-inch thick. You can see it's a half-inch thick flange, which reduces warping. Which once those flanges start warping, they do leak. Well, since ours are so thick, they don't warp with the heat. So with that thick flange and the thick gaskets, ours don't have any exhaust leaks from that area. So the last thing I want to talk about is our manifolds don't have any flex pipes or bellow pipes. Our manifolds are made with precision measurements so that it bolts right up to the headers without any issues. There's no need for it to flex on one side so that you could get it in. That's not what flex pipes are for. Flex pipes aren't made to compensate for fitment issues. They're made to expand as the tubing gets hot. Also, they're not made to hold boost. They're good to give a little bit of wiggle room, like when you put it on the exhaust system, as none of that stuff is mounted solid. You do want to give a little bit of wiggle room, so we do include a flex pipe on our downpipes for that reason. But for our manifolds, it's not necessary because we have perfect fitment, and because of the thickness of the tubing, it won't really warp or expand or nothing like that. I've seen some people use a bunch of flex pipes on their manifolds, on their crossover piping, and like I said, those flex pipes are meant to hold boost, so they will blow out eventually for fitment issues or for to compensate for fitment. So if you're using them so that one side could bolt in or could go into place, it's not meant for that. It's gonna compress one side, it's gonna expand the other side, which is gonna weaken the flex pipe, and it's just gonna make it blow out quicker. So those are just some of the points I wanted to touch and mention about our manifolds and how they differ. As you can see, this one isn't completely done. It still needs the wastegates and the flange welded for the turbo. But that's an overview of our manifolds, and I just wanted to put that out there so that you know what you're getting when you order one of our manifolds or one of our kits, our mid-mount kits. So I do want to mention in this video also that we are working on a twin scroll T4 manifold. One of the main reasons we want to make a twin scroll is so that we could fit bigger turbos, and so that we can also tuck in the flange a little bit higher. As you can see, this square, this is a T4. You can see it's way bigger than a V-band. With that though, you could put bigger turbos in, or with the bigger exhaust housing that are more common. So the way we will be able to tuck it in higher and still have more room for bigger turbos and stuff like that is we'll be using 2¼ inch tubing instead of 2.5. We have tried making a twin scroll out of 2.5, but with how thick 2.5 is, there is just not enough room to fit a T4 twin scroll flange in the smart area where the transmission is at. It was just not possible, so we decided that we're gonna make it out of 2.25, just 2.25 inch. So with 2.25, it is a little bit smaller than 2.5 inch, but it's not gonna affect performance, and I'll explain that right now. But with 2.25, it gives us just enough room to fit a bigger turbo, and also to be able to tuck in the T4 flange a little bit higher. I want to talk a little bit about performance with our 2.5 inch manifold. This manifold still has not been maxed out. Nobody has pushed it to where it's too much back pressure and it's not making no power. That still hasn't been reached yet. With our design and how good the manifold flows with our merge area, I don't see why it shouldn't be able to make more than 800 plus with this 2.5 inch design open scroll. So like I said, the 2.25 shouldn't affect performance. I seen a twin scroll 2 inch make over 800 plus horsepower. With this being 2.25, that shouldn't be its limit there. A lot does have to do with the turbine housing for either one, open scroll or twin scroll. To achieve those really high horsepower numbers, you do need a big turbine housing. Doesn't matter what other people tell you. You're not gonna make 1,000 horsepower with a small turbine housing. If you do, it won't be for long. That's just small turbine housing causes way too much back pressure. That's something you don't want. So right now I just want to show you guys the different size tubings that we're gonna be using. First, I want to show is the 2 inch, which popular company that does mid mount kits uses is 2 inch, and as you can see, that 2 inch fits right inside the 2.25 inch, which is the one we're gonna make our twin scroll manifolds out of. And then this is the 2.5 inch right here. So what I want to compare is the 2 inch to 2.25 tubing. Like I said, I seen that popular company that uses 2 inch tubing on their mid mount twin scroll, make up to 800 horsepower. I just want to compare it to the 2.25. You can see the 2 inch fits right inside the 2.25. So the 2.25 should be able to flow a lot more air, and it should be able to make just as much power or even more power than the 2 inch manifolds that are out there. That's all I wanted to mention in this video. Just wanted to show how our 2.5 inch open scroll manifold is designed and how it flows, how it's built, how it differs from other companies, and also wanted to mention what we have in working in the background is the twin scroll 2.25 inch for the T4 variant. We're still going to be offering this 2.5 inch open scroll for anybody that wants to run a V-band turbo, and we're going to start offering the twin scroll T4 version pretty soon. For updates, just follow us on Instagram, boosted_projects, and then we also have a Facebook page, Boosted Projects. our website, boostedprojectz.com, to order any of our kits. We do offer the manifolds only. We offer complete kits and partial kits. We don't only offer the mid mounts. We offer the rear mount kits, top mount kits, twin mid mount kits also. So we have a couple of different kits we offer. Visit our website. I'll make more videos like this about our other kits if you guys are interested, and I'll also give a update on what's been going on with the business, my shop, my car. So stay tuned for all that.